What's up everyone? Tech Geek Josh here with the comparison between the iPhone 5s and the ZTE Warp 7. Let's go. So yeah, let's do this. iPhone 5s on the left, ZTE Warp 7 on the right. And note that the iPhone 5s currently has a bumper around it, and I will not be taking that off in this video because, well, it really doesn't need to come off. And because it's pretty hard to get on and off, so I'll just leave it on. It's not bothering anyone. So yeah, a little rundown of how they look. Smaller size on the iPhone compared to a 5.5 inch display on the Warp 7. Both of these devices are turned on. I just realized the Wi-Fi is not on both of them, so let me go and flick these on really quick. Okay, the 5S is now on. Warp 7 usually connects pretty quickly. Don't mind these notifications. I'm behind. Warp 7 is not connecting, even though it usually connects pretty fast. There you go. I don't know what was happening there. And don't mind, I might be getting notifications in the background on both because I'm not logged in. Apparently. That's actually quite annoying after some time. Get notifications on another device that you haven't used for a while. Because just then it actually got me quite annoyed. Because it's like you shouldn't be doing that. Alright, so as you can see here, they're both turned on, so let's go ahead and power them off if the iPhone will stay turned on. Took a while for the iPhone to bring up the power off screen. Okay. It looks like the iPhone's immediately shut off. It didn't take no time at all. Whereas the ZTE is still powering down. And the battery on the iPhone was at 95%. ZTE was at 80%. So we'll see how much they dropped, if they dropped. So now that they're powered off, let's go ahead and power them on in 3, 2, 1. Both turned on relatively the same time. It's making the background all dark because of how bright the ZTE is. Very clean interface on both. And as these things are doing its thing, I would like to apologize because this video was actually supposed to be out yesterday. As you can see, the iPhone is now turned on and ready to be used, and it's at 94% battery right up here. Oh, don't want that yet. Come on, iPhone. Now it's connected to the internet. ZTE is down to 79, so they both dropped about 1%, which is not a big deal at all. But yeah, this video was supposed to be out yesterday, and I didn't have time after making the Express 3 review. So, I'm doing it today, so I'm sorry. Got some mail on the iPhone. Alright, so now that they're all ready, let's go ahead and launch some apps. Starting with Facebook. Just make sure that wasn't an app in the background. Facebook. So as you can see, the Warp 7 is already finished, and it logged me out on the iPhone, which it's updated. I updated it to just tap my photo to log in. But as you can see, the ZTE clearly won on that one. Apparently I have a friend request. Let me go ahead and I'll actually leave that there for now. We have 4 notifications. So there's that. But as you can see, the ZTE won that one. And I would actually expect the iPhone to be faster in many ways, because I thought, or I think, that iOS is more optimized than Android is. But I could be wrong. We'll find out. Let's go to Kick. Oh, well, let's go to YouTube. Sorry. The iPhone 5S is fast at launching stuff on iOS 10, but in terms of load times, it looks like the ZTE is taking over. Snapchat. ZTE won that one immediately. Quite surprising. 5S is taking its time. There you go. Play Store and App Store. App Store on the iPhone 5S. Play Store on the ZTE. And ZTE wins once again. Whereas, as you can see over here, it's taking its time. Now it's loaded. It's very surprising. Now let's go to Kick. ZTE, like that. iPhone's taking its time. There you go. By the way, this is the most recent version of iOS on the iPhone, the iOS 10.2.1 at the time of this video. I will not be doing Pandora, even though I have them right here. They're different versions. So let's go ahead and do the dock first. Let's go into Phone. iPhone bring up the dialer first, but it looks like the ZTE loaded it first. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do that again, just so it can be fair. Phone. There's a mistap again. Sorry. Loaded it first, but it bring up the dialer first on the iPhone. Safari. I know the ZTE doesn't have Safari, but we can go ahead and test the browser, the stock browser. Google.com on both. Let's load up the Phone Arena website like we always do. Oops. Sorry, I accidentally typed what you see there. Phone Arena right now. It should be the same thing, and apparently I mistapped it on the iPhone, so that's not fair apparently. The ZTE did load first, so scrolling is very good on the ZTE. iPhone is apparently still loading. There's a Subway ad. So now they're both loaded. In terms of scrolling, they're both very, very responsive, as you can see here. It seems that the iPhone is more responsive, even though it doesn't scroll as fast. Since I actually, mistapped it, it didn't load at the same time. We're going to actually load the desktop version for this video. So let's go and do that in 3, 2, 1. It actually looked like the iPhone loaded it first. Holy crap. I was not expecting that, but it looks like the 5S just loaded it instantly, whereas the Warp 7, it looks like it's still loading, and it's done, it looks like. Very interesting. Going back home. Let's go into messages. You should know what kind of message the ZTE will give me. The location, which I don't really know why, but there you go. I'm chatting with myself on here. It's my messages to myself. No, I'm not lonely. Now let's go ahead and follow the iOS order. So let's go to what kind of mail do we got? Oh, we got email and we got mail. Let's go to stock. Let's go ahead and go to mail on the iPhone, email on the ZTE. And by the way, I don't mind if you can see my mail right there. It's nothing really personal. So ZTE has not loaded my, I have not set up my account on the ZTE yet, or any mail accounts apparently. So there's that. Calendar, Google Calendar on the ZTE. Both loaded it fairly quickly, with the exception that the ZTE, asked for those permissions. They both opened it and loaded it at the exact same time. I don't know if this is Google Calendar over here. I'm guessing it is, but I could be wrong. Now let's go to photos or gallery on the Gallery on the ZTE, photos on the iPhone. The iPhone is not activated, I know that. Come on. There you go. Can't keep these devices in frame for some odd reason. Now let's go to camera. That should be interesting. And that was a stupid mistap. There you go. Both defaulted to the rear camera. Let's go ahead and switch to the front. iPhone switched first. In general, the iPhone just looks better. As you can see, it has better color, and you can actually see what colors are, you know, what's what. The ZTE is pretty good as well. 5 megapixel on the ZTE. I think a 1.3 or 1.9 on the iPhone, but nonetheless, they're both very good at, you know, at frame rate. As you can see here, just waving my hand back and forth, doing back home. Oh no, keep forgetting that the iPhone has a physical home button. This is not a stock wallpaper on the ZTE, by the way. Now let's go to, I guess, Google Maps and Maps on the iPhone, or just Maps in general. Both pretty fast. I would say about equal there, because they both ask for the relatively same permissions. Clock. iPhone just a hair faster than the ZTE on that one. We don't have weather on the ZTE, nor stocks, nor wallet. Do we have notes on the ZTE? No. What do we have? Well, we have settings on the ZTE, so let's go ahead and go to settings. iPhone won that one just by a hair. Now let's get into the third, well, one more system app, calculator. What is wrong with me today? I keep mistapping like crazy. There we go. Even though the iOS did not load, even though I did not open it, even though I mistapped several times on the iPhone, it seems that it actually popped up first and loaded it first. And now let's get on to the third-party apps, such as Battery Doctor first. You should know the story that I don't like to open this unless they're charging. I don't know what kind of app is on the iPhone here, because it's not the original. This is the original, whereas I don't know what's wrong with the iPhone. Does it need to be updated? I mean, does the developer need to update the app or something? Because I know it shouldn't be like that. We just did Facebook. Now let's go to Instagram. ZTE all the way for that one. ZTE loaded it first. Now let's go to Messenger. So overall, as you can clearly see, the ZTE is quite a speedy phone, whereas the iPhone, as you can see, is still loading, taking its time. There you go. Now Periscope, I have them all over the place on the ZTE. Should be updated to the most recent version. There we go. I would say the ZTE loaded it first, but I could be wrong. Let's go to, I think that pretty much does it, because I don't have any more apps to test. Yeah, these devices don't have a lot of apps to test. I just did them all. So this one's actually going to be quite a short video, so that pretty much sums up the comparison between the iPhone 5S and the ZTE Warp 7. The ZTE Warp 7 is one hell of a device, as you can see how fast and fluid it is. And actually, before I end, I just realized I have to do the multitasking test. See which one holds the apps open the longest. What's wrong with me today? I don't know. Facebook. Let's try that in 3, 2, 1. iPhone looks like it held it open faster, or better, I should say. YouTube. iPhone actually held it open the longest. Snapchat, about the same. App Store and Play Store, same time. Why do I keep double tapping the multitasking button on this freaking ZTE? Man, I'm so tired apparently. Kick, exactly the same. And last but not least, the phone. Same time. The ZTE has a clear off function. I can't swipe on the iPhone. It's getting me actually quite frustrated. The ZTE has a clear off function. The iPhone doesn't. So that pretty much sums up the comparison between the iPhone 5S and the ZTE Warp 7. In my opinion, I would say the ZTE is much better than the iPhone when it comes to, you know, load times. This iPhone's going to sleep on me. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the iPhone because it is a 4-year-old handset. It has a smaller screen, and it was the flagship of 2013, and you can still buy it to this day. This one specifically, as you should know if you're subscribed to my channel, I unboxed it. I got it for $150, which is very cool. So yeah, it's still being sold today with the most recent iOS version, or most up-to-date version of iOS. Whereas the ZTE, as of right now, is stuck on Android Lollipop. I'm not sure if it'll get a Nougat update, but time could tell on that one. But it should get an update. I don't see why it wouldn't, because it has so good specs. So yeah. Alright, now that pretty much sums up the comparison between the iPhone 5S and the ZTE Warp 7. And I'll see you in the next video.